Some of you grew up in law-based, legalistic, religious, traditional, performance-based environments. Some of you are now taking that burden and giving it to your own children. And you're thinking you're being biblical. You're not biblical unless you're relational. You're not biblical unless you're covenantal. Right? And that ultimately it is an opportunity for us not to get embittered against our parents, but to investigate our family of origins and to ask, was it grace-based or law-based? Was it about Jesus or was it about my performance and criticism of my failures? We've gotten a lot of feedback in this series, or at least I have, from some of you. And you've been delivered and healed of a lot of burdens and legalism and tradition and man-made rules and a lot of things that God doesn't have for you, but that others have put upon you. And let me just say this to the fathers, since it's Father's Day. Abraham is called our father, right? And what he was a father of grace and blessing and faith. To be fathers, we need to be fathers of grace and blessing and faith. That ultimately, the point of Abraham being a father was to point his whole family to Jesus who was coming. And the goal of us as fathers needs to be to always be pointing to Jesus who not only came, but is coming again. And you and I, those of us who are heads of household, fathers and men, we have this unique opportunity to set one of two cultures in our home. A culture of grace, relationship, covenant, a relationship of works, performance, and punishment. If you don't know what the culture is, ask your wife. I just like to say that usually the truth resides with the wife. That's been my experience. And or ask your kids, relational, non-relational, love-based, performance-based, grace-centered, or obedience, compliance-centered. Let's just work on this relationship with Jesus. No, let's pay a lot of attention to a long list of things that we have demands upon you that you need to live under fear of punishment from. It's a very different household. It's a very different culture. It's a very different environment. And here's why I tell you this. Some of you still think you have this kind of relationship with God. God, I know Jesus died for my sin, but now that I'm a Christian and I did sin, you probably don't forgive me. Jesus died for all your sin, past, present, and future. The grace of God was not just there to save you, but to sustain you. Okay, but God, I wandered and I walked away. Well, you're still my kid. I love you. Please come home. I'll help. God, things are hard. Are you punishing me? Are you angry at me? No, I'm not angry at you and I'm not punishing you. I already punished Jesus in your place. This may be consequence for your decision making, but it's not my punitive response. You need Jesus. Your spouse needs Jesus. Your kids need Jesus. Your family needs Jesus. Your friends need Jesus. Your neighbors need Jesus. Your coworkers need Jesus. And your enemies need Jesus.